So, this movie is pretty much all about getting gruesome cheeks. I mean, there's a whole storyline about some guy who stole some transmutation serum that turns cute little animals into horrifying monsters. But come on, this is a weird analysis video, so the movie is never really about what it wants you to think it's about. In the first movie, Gru got himself some kids, now it's time to get himself a wife. Usually, the latter comes before the former, but apparently, Gru has some more childhood trauma surrounding women, but this time, more romantic than maternal. So, he hasn't really had much practice talking to women since he was a child. The movie starts with some lady trying to set Gru up with all the different single moms that she knows, an offer he vehemently rejects, which leads one of the girls to ask him if he's scared to go on a date. And we get this flashback of when he was young, fat and awkward and tried to talk to a girl on the playground, expecting to have his feelings of desire reciprocated, but got shamed for it instead. The girls feel bad about him not having anyone to deliver sensual back shots to at night, and Agnes in particular really wants a mom, so the girls try to put him on Tinder. He immediately shuts that down because he has been hired by this good guy spy agency to find this other bad guy that stole the cute animal monster serum, who they suspect is hiding out in the mall for some fucking reason. So he needs to go undercover with Lucy. In the process of trying to find their guy, Margot falls in love with the son of one of their suspects. Gru gets word of this and immediately tries to stop it because the kid looks like this and he talks like this.
And my dream is to one day play video games for a living.
Wow.
Gru is definitely justified in not being too jazzed about the idea of this little fuckboy in training having his way with his little girl, but he's going about it the wrong way. The moment you try and forbid her from talking to him, you've only succeeded in making the idea of talking to him 10 times more appealing and tantalizing. Because now the boy has become a forbidden fruit, and there's nothing in the world women want more than the very thing they know they can't have. Why the fuck else would Eve have eaten that fucking apple in the garden? It's because God singled out that one fruit in the entire garden and told her explicitly not to eat it. He didn't have to do that shit. He could have just not created the forbidden apple and we'd all be chilling right now, fucking walking around free as can be, butt ass naked, eating grapes and shit. But no, he had to test his children. So now women gotta fucking almost die just to have a baby, and men gotta pay taxes. That's crazy. I don't even believe that the snake made her eat that shit, because if after God himself told you not to do something and all a snake had to do to get you to disobey was to whisper some bullshit in your ear, then chances are you were gonna eat that shit eventually. If anything, the snake just expedited the process and got you closer to your goal much quicker. But anyway, strange religious tangent aside, I say all this to explain that forbidding a woman from doing something is never the best way to get her to not do that thing. And Gru being so aggressive about this up and coming little heartbreaker is only going to yield the exact opposite of his desired results. So as a 23-year-old man-child with zero parenting experience, this is what I believe to be the best way to go about protecting your daughter from boys that look, talk and act the way you did when you were in your 20s. Unless you were a fucking virgin with no social skills and therefore no bitches on your dick, then you probably have nothing to worry about. You want to start off by making sure that you are your daughter's best friend. She needs to love and trust you with all her heart, but more importantly, all her secrets. You want your relationship with your daughter to be so strong that she tells you literally everything about herself, both the good and the bad, because she knows that you will never judge her. You always be there to help her fix her mistakes, you always be her biggest hype man, and you always love her no matter what. That should be the basis of your relationship with your daughter. Then when she tells you about this boy she likes, gives you a glimpse of the type of person he is, and you decipher that he's got less than pure intentions for your daughter, all you need to do is to remind her that you love her and you want nothing but the best for her. But if she keeps talking to this boy, it won't end well for her and she needs to trust you. You're not telling her what to do and you're not forbidding her from doing anything. That last part particularly needs to communicate it as explicitly as possible. She needs to know that she still has her free will and there's no pressure, but she can either choose to be with him and be happy now for a short period but end up sad later on for a long time, or she can choose to cut things off and be upset right now for a very short period but be much happier in the long run. The choice is hers and you always be there for her no matter what she chooses, loving her every step of the way. That's what Gru should have done in this situation. Women need a lot of emotional reassurance, so as long as you're able to do all that and present her with the necessary information without putting pressure on her, then she should be able to make the right decision by herself. Gru is forced to go on a date by the crazy lady from earlier, who actually has a name but I just feel more comfortable calling her crazy lady. His date ends up being one of those people that immediately try to start changing you before they even get to know you. She tries to get him to join a gym and makes plans to fix his accents. She's trying to force all these fundamental changes on him without even asking him how he feels about it or trying to logically and subtly explain why she thinks they need to happen. And Gru doesn't feel comfortable at all, which is ironic because that's exactly what he's trying to do with Margot. He wants to change how she feels and interacts with her first ex without stopping to ask her why she feels so strongly about him or logically explaining to her why he thinks she needs to stay away from him. So the same thing which makes him uncomfortable that's being done to him by a stranger is exactly what he's doing to his own daughter. You know, people will have much more fruitful relationships in their lives if they just stop to consider how they would feel if they were treated the way they treat other people. Jesus didn't say, do unto others as you want to be done unto you for no reason, you know. Anyway, she tries to publicly shame him for not having any hair, but by some stroke of luck, Lucy ends up passing by and tranquilizes her before she could expose him, saving Gru from his horrible date. They spend the rest of the night trying to get her home, talking, bonding and awkwardly laughing as they both begin to notice the chemistry they have between them. It's time for her to go, so Gru walks out to her car and actually admits that he had fun tonight. This This coming from the guy that seems to be allergic to fun unless it's coming as a direct result of the suffering of others. She tells him he looks better with his bald head, gives him a kiss on the cheek, producing the biggest smile we've ever seen on his face. He goes to bed. The next morning, he wakes up to Happy by Pharrell Williams playing in the background with the most energetic and upbeat attitude in the world.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
Gru, I think you like her. Well, don't get too excited now, nigga, or you gonna fuck around and get your heart broken. He walks to the mall with literal pep in his step, then gets there and finds out that they've apprehended the guy who stole the serum. So, he no longer needs to be undercover with Lucy, and she's being transferred to Australia. She gives him a memento to remember her by, the lipstick taser she used to render him unconscious the first time they met. Oh, did I not mention that? Yeah, this bitch fucking tasered and kidnapped him at the start of the movie, just to get him to the super secret spy agency headquarters, as opposed to, oh I don't know, calling ahead of time to schedule a fucking appointment? The fuck? Okay, look, I don't really know that much about love, seeing as how my dumbass has been single for the better part of half a decade now, but I'm pretty sure if she knocks you unconscious, kidnaps you, links you up with a lucrative job opportunity, saves you from a horrible first date, then gives you a memento from the first time she assaulted you, she's probably the one, bro. Boys, if she's not coming at you with this type of energy, then she ain't worth it, my nigga. Gru walks back home and just as easily as love giveth, love taketh away. The world around him literally visibly gets desaturated as he traverses that lonely terrain with not a single pep in his step. He gets home, Agnes asks him what's wrong, and because she already expressed interest in him dating Lucy earlier in the movie, he felt comfortable enough to actually open up to her about it. This is what I mean when I say you need to make sure your daughter always knows that she can trust you because you will never judge her. She will just freely open up to you whenever you ask, and the same rule applies to adults because we're all human. If you're able to treat a person with enough kindness to the point where they feel safe and emotionally comfortable around you, they'll just open up to you about all kinds of things with little to no struggle. He tries to call Lucy and ask her out on a date before she leaves, but his anxiety gets the better of him and he reverts back to resolving his feelings with violence. The whole family gets invited to Antonio's family house party, and Gru does the exact opposite of what I told him to do. He spends the whole day trying to forcefully prevent Margot from spending time with Antonio. This obviously backfires because of the forbidden fruit principle, and he ends up sitting in a corner by himself, sad and alone because the girl he likes is going far away and his daughter is growing up so fast, so she'll probably go away pretty soon and leave him too. He ends up finding out that Antonio's dad is actually the guy they've been looking for. Meanwhile, on her flight to Australia, Lucy starts seeing Gru everywhere she looks. Then the flight attendant asks her if she would like some pretzels or some peanuts, but she's too busy trying to wrap her head around why Gru's face is so prevalent in her mind. The flight attendant tells her she needs to make a choice, obviously referring to the two snack options she gave her. But Lucy shouts Gru, she chooses Gru, opens up the emergency door, waves goodbye to the passengers, and fucking jumps out of a commercial plane just so she can talk to the guy she likes. That's what I'm fucking talking about, nigga. If she's not coming at you with this type of energy, she's not fucking worth it, bro. Like, it's not even a fucking question, nigga. And I'm sorry, ladies, but if you're not willing to jump out of a fucking airplane just to come talk to me, then what are we still doing here? Please, lose my number, misplace my IG, don't call me, and don't fucking text me no more. The price of my affection just went up, so you better go get your ass a fucking parachute if you want to be in any sort of fucking talking stage with me, because I need me some of that Lucy energy, bro. God damn. And yeah, that's pretty much the whole movie. The bad guy offers Gru equal partnership. He escapes with the girls. The Antonio guy breaks Margot's heart. Big fucking surprise. Lucy shows up at the party but ends up getting kidnapped by a macho. That's the bad guy's name, by the way, in case I didn't mention it. I'm honestly just speed running through the plot so I can get to the romance. He also kidnapped a bunch of Gru's minions and turned them into monsters, so he goes back to rescue Lucy and cure his minions. He gets there and she has been strapped to a rocket. They have a good guy versus bad guy fight. The good guy wins. Imagine my fucking surprise. But while he's trying to untie her, a chicken presses the button and launches the rocket. Don't ask. As the rocket heads towards a volcano, he asks her what she would have done if he asked her out on a date. She shouts yes, again, maintaining that crazy Lucy energy. Then we cut to 147 days later, and in pure animated children movie fashion, they're getting married. Crazy to think that if he had just asked her out on a date, he would have gotten all he wanted much sooner. But that's basically the end of the movie. Agnes finally gets a mom, Gru finally gets to see just how freaky Lucy can be, and Margot might end up becoming a feminist, depending on how long it takes her to heal from the Antonio breakup. Or maybe he already texted and she jumped right back into his arms. Who the fuck knows? Subscribe to the Patreon for weird thoughts, the member controlled Patreon only podcast, and weird commentary, the Patreon exclusive cartoon commentary videos. You can choose to get your commentary videos once a month, twice a month, or 4 times a month. And you can choose to just be a regular podcast listener, or you can choose to have supreme control over what I say in the podcast by becoming a tier 3 Patreon member, where you can, send in questions, topics, and other stuff that I will be replying to or talking about or expatiating on or just fucking babbling on about. Then I will react to some Reddit text messages, some stories, and whatever the fuck else I find on Reddit. But yeah, that's about it. Subscribe to the Patreon, link in the description. Get yourself a girl that will jump out of a fucking airplane just to come talk to you. And I'll see y'all niggas in the next analysis. Well, this was fun. Alright, later niggas.